Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the NFL Week 7 DFS and betting preview. I'm your host, Matt Gannon, and I have a very special guest today. You guys may know her as that girl from Twitter, a lover of all dads, token New York Giants fan. Who else but Stephie Smalls? Stephie, thank you for joining me today. We've been waiting to do this, and we finally got a chance to.
I know it's taken too long. Thanks for having me. I'm excited. This is a fun slate this week.
It's a lot. It's a lot of fun slate. Like, there's the past few weeks have been like a mess slash craziness slash fun, but I'm going to enjoy it. I think we have 13 games this week, so I'm ready to get into it. How has your season gone so far, DFS wise, betting wise, just in general, fantasy wise?
Yeah, it's actually been a good season, surprisingly. Definitely overwhelmed with doing like a ton of content while trying to keep my own bets. And I feel like you start putting bets in, you're like, oh shit, I bet on that. I didn't even realize that I hit that. So keeping it all in track, I need to do a better job next year tracking them. But it's been a good season.
Yeah, you start rooting against like the players you have in DFS because you want your bets to win. So it's like it's all over every single week.
It's sick. Right. Yeah, and then like your fandom and yeah.
Yeah, I know how it goes. We'll hop into Thursday Night Football. The Saints head to Arizona, who is in I don't even know what you want to call Arizona right now. They're messy. So what do you think is going to happen here, Thursday Night Football?
Yeah, it's interesting. The Saints are on a short week on the road. Arizona just looks I don't know what is going on with them. And the Saints have stayed in every game for the most part. They look pretty competitive. Arizona was literally only able to produce 9 points against Seattle last week. So again, the offense is just not there. Their defense has been decent against the run, and I think that's what's been kind of keeping the Saints team going, at least last week. So I want to say I'm more leaning on the Saints here, but if Arizona wants to do anything this season, like they got to get right this game. It's now or never. I feel like I don't know what's going on over there. If it's Kyler stuff, if it's Cliff, I don't even know who you can blame.
Yeah, and I was calling it last week how because the NFC West isn't anything crazy this year. The Rams are what they are. 49ers just lost to the Falcons. The Cardinals still have the division to like go for. And I thought last week they were going to go on the road in Seattle and like this is their time where everyone sees every single year the Cardinals go on that 5-game win streak early in the season. They're like, oh, are the Cardinals going to do something this year and then fall off late? Are we going to see that again? Like I thought it was going to happen versus the Seahawks last week. So I don't know if I'm going to go back to them this week. They're just a mess all around, and I don't really know. I was so heavy on them last week. That's what kills me because I was so heavy on them -2.5 in Seattle, and I don't want to go. They're just frustrating.
And we're all waiting on Seattle to like mess up more than
right. That's what I'm getting at.
We think Arizona will pull it together faster than we'll think. Like we think Seattle is good. They have to be bound to mess up at some point, but then for some reason their defense started playing well last week, so they're almost like putting pieces more together than they were. So Arizona is it's impossible to bet on them this season.
Right. They've played in 6 games, they've played 6 awesome halves and 6 horrible halves. They just can't put a game together. And I think they're 0-3 at home this year or 1-2 or something like that. If they're at home, I feel like it's a matter of time before they get going. I don't want to like put my money where my mouth is saying that they will, but I don't know. Is there anyone you're targeting DFS wise in this game? But because it's kind of like, I don't want to pay for Kyler at 7-4. He was 7-3 last week, and he didn't look good last week. I can get down with Kamara. He's due for a game, but besides that, I don't want to. Hopkins is back now, but you don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, and everyone keeps talking about that. It's like, but how much do you think Hopkins is going to make an impact for like even like that price? I don't know about that. I might lean like an Eno for a cheaper option there.
Yeah.
Connor is still out. So both of these teams admittedly have a lot of injuries across the board. Zach Ertz is interesting too. Probably.
Yeah, he's been getting mad targets.
I know. So something should happen. But I feel like anyone else, it's hit or miss with them on both sides of the ball. Taysom Hill, he's either a smash play or like an idiot.
Nothing.
I played him last weweek and then you got nothing out of him. And it's like, now I'm done with you. Like you were like the most annoying player ever.
Yeah, Taysom, you got to either play him every week or play him never. You can't try to pick when that Taysom game is going to come. Yeah.
Because you don't know.
Yeah, but so I think we both are aligned that we think that the Cardinals will get it going at some point. I don't know if I'm going to want to put my money on that, but we'll move on. I'll let you take the majority of this one. Giants head to Jacksonville. Is this a trap game or that they're? I expected them to be like to this be more of like a pick'em spread rather than 3. I am from New Jersey, obviously. I can see the Giants disappointing everyone this week in Jacksonville. I'm rooting for them to do well, but I don't know. What are you thinking here?
So I think this line is right, and a lot of fans like came down my throat when I said that this week. But I think it is the right line. I think the Giants, their coaching and Saquon and Daniel Jones playing consistently, and their defense like has gotten them there. Like they're not doing a lot, and at some point it's not sustainable to do what they're doing right now. Like you're not going to be able to do that the entire season. So at some point something has to give, and whether that's Wandell stepping up, whether that's Daniel Bellinger getting a bigger role, whether that's, the defense starting to get healthier. So there's still ways for, I think, the Giants to still have, their season's already successful, but
right.
And Jacksonville, they're frustrating because you see them play, and as long as Trevor Lawrence is not getting a ton of pressure, which the Giants can maybe do, they're playing well. They're coming off 2 losses, but the Giants are also 3-0 as underdogs, and I don't know. I'm torn here. I probably would lean the Giants +3. I don't bet on my own team personally, but if I was, I probably would lean the Giants. I think they're kind of like the Falcons in the sense where until they screw you, just keep betting on them.
Yeah. What I did here, I actually teased the Giants up through 10 or 10 and a half, something like that. Because I feel like no matter who the Giants are playing, whether that's I don't want to say the Chiefs, a great team or a horrible team, they play close games. They just play super close games, and that's just how they play slow and methodical and slow. They try to dictate the pace, and I feel like that's what we're gonna get here. I wouldn't be too confident they even cover the +3, so I took the 10. But I like what you said about Bellinger, and he's 3,400 this week, and I know how high you were on him preseason, and we haven't really seen that breakout game. I don't want to say it's coming, but he's going to have a game where he scores a touchdown, maybe 2, just because as a red zone target. He had that one funky touchdown in London, right? Was that him?
Yeah, he scored. Yeah, he scored, I think, the last 2 weeks. But the thing, if you look at too, is his snap percentage has gone up every single week. It's I don't have it off. It's written in front of me, but it's 48, 50, 260s, then 74, 94. So every single week he's seeing a significant increase. And I think also you're seeing Daniel Jones start to trust him too.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
He's struggled with trusting any of no one on that team as far as the pass catchers go, and if you want to, I guess, Saquon in the receiving game, but there's been no one that he can rely on, even Slayton, when he drops balls. So it's they're not really doing much, and I don't know if it's not really a testament to Daniel Jones. I think it's more they actually don't have the weapons to do it. So I do I definitely like Bellinger this week. I think we see him end up having a that breakout game is coming soon.
You think we're in for an Evan Ingram revenge game? Or
I don't know.
It relies on Trevor. But I'm so high on the Jaguars every single week. I as in DFS, because usually they're playing from behind a lot. They're letting Trevor throw it out, and ETN's finally getting some of the share that we thought he was going to get. It's kind of getting a little bit better each week. Yeah. So you want to go 2 tight ends in this game? Go for it. I think the Bellinger is going to have his. He's going to keep getting the snap count, going to break out, and then Evan Ingram revenge from his former team. I don't hate that narrative at all, but betting wise, I think this is a fairly close game. I think the Giants are pretty safe teaser.
I think they're probably one of the safer teaser. I actually think this might be one of the better games on the slate to actually watch, because I think these teams, they match up pretty well, and it should be interesting to see how the Giants respond to their run D, which has been one of the better parts of that defense over there in Jacksonville. So I'm actually looking forward to watching this game. It should be a good one.
That'll be fun. We'll move on to another NFC game. NFC East host Commanders are 5-point dogs versus the Packers, who are another team who are kind of in shambles right now. Preseason, I was super low on the Packers, and it's coming into fruition, but stupid old me has been betting on them every single week and getting crushed just because I don't know why, because I knew they were going to be bad, and here we are. They're in shambles. What do you think is going to happen here?
I don't know. I hate this number.
It's a stupid number.
I like the Heineke. I love the angle where a quarterback comes in and he hasn't played. I love that. I think they normally come in and you see them win all the time. Problem with that is there's so much dysfunction. Actually, there's dysfunction on both sides of the balls. Packers have less of an excuse because their roster, there's no reason for this team to be playing the way that they are. I think a lot of that is like Aaron Rodgers is checked out and no one can convince me otherwise. He has really no excuse. He's not playing well. I think that this is a good get-right game for this defense. It'll be interesting to see how they match up against the Commanders' O-line. But, like thinking about like who we want to like target in this game is interesting. Lazard seems to be the best target for Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if I'm going that direction. I don't know.
I wrote up Lazard last week, and I feel like we're bound to have one of those games because he was able to do it even when he wasn't the number one target. Have one or two games a year where it was like 20 plus points. He hasn't really gotten there yet, and he is the number one target. But I mean, at 6'1", that's a fair price to play Lazard.
Yeah, and he either has a touchdown or 100 yards every single game this season. It's been one or the other, or I should say. Yeah. So he is, I think he's probably, which is surprising because they can't seem to run the ball this year, which is crazy to me because they have two really great pieces there in Jones and Dillon. But so I think Lazard is probably the safest option there as far as a skilled player on the Packers.
Yeah, and I think the same about the Redskins or Commanders receiver every single week. You can pick any one of them. They all look the same on the field, and it's just there's no way of predicting really which of those receivers is going to get the targets, going to get the touchdowns, because there's a new one every week, it seems. So I would just say if you want to play a receiver in this game from the Redskins or the Commanders, play the cheapest one because they has the similar upside as any of them.
Washington defense is interesting, I will say. Like, if the Packers play the way that they have, like, they let up, like, 4 sacks last week, which I understand that the Jets have a much better defense. But if they can take advantage of that, it's definitely an interesting play.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all because, no one's going to play that either. No one's really going to play that.
No one.
All right, we'll move on to Cowboys host Detroit, 7-point favorites after that decent game in Philly. Dak is back. I'm excited because I have a bunch of Cowboys futures heading into the season, and I thought they were absolutely dead after week 1. And Cooper Rush, I couldn't have asked for anything more from him to keep those futures alive. There's motivation now. The Cowboys, they have a decent record. They're right in the mix. What do you think's going to happen here? Lions, obviously, I think they're off a bye, right?
Yeah, they're coming off a bye. They're also getting healthy, so they're getting St. Brown back. They're getting Swift back. So that definitely makes it interesting. They definitely needed that bye thing. They came out kind of hot, and then things started to not look so good once they started suffering injuries. Another matchup, interested to see how this Cowboys D-line goes up against the Lions O-line. A touchdown is actually a little bit too much for me here. I don't know. The Lions can put up points. I actually kind of like the over in this game. Just because I think that both of these teams are going to be able to score a lot of points. The Cowboys Dak is coming back though. It's like how healthy is he fully? I always get worried when they're coming back, but it seems like he wanted to play last week, so it gives me a little bit of confidence. So touchdowns too much for me here. Probably leaning towards playing the total.
Yeah, I like what you said about the over, especially because I think Dak has a fire game because he's been heard all the noise. Is Cooper Rush going to take Dak's job?
Yeah,
and obviously that never was going to happen. But like Dak should be like, all right, I'm going to shut you guys up. I'm going to have a game. I like that narrative. Play Gallup, play Dak. I think that could work really well. And then all the Lions are always doable. They're starting to get priced where like, I mean, St. Brown wasn't 7-1 the first 3 weeks. I don't believe so. And now he's like up at the top in this game. Swift, you're getting a semi break because he hasn't been playing, but I think this is a good game, especially since you like this over, to stack a bunch of guys on both sides. I don't hate that.
Definitely. I don't disagree with you at all. I think that also, like, as much as I hate Ezekiel Elliott, like I am not an Ezekiel Elliott person.
That's a great price.
He drives me crazy, not a fan, but like the Lions games have just been going so far over. Like they are scoring the most points and allowing the most points. Can the Cowboys come in with Dak and end up like capitalizing on that? I kind of like it. So I don't know. I think if you went to stack here would definitely be a move.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we'll move on to. I don't even care about this game. I don't even want to talk about it. Buccaneers, Tom Brady midlife crisis, head to Carolina to play my Panthers, who are a mess. Just keep losing. I don't care about what you do, how you lose. Just keep losing. I want CJ Stroud. I want Bryce Young. I don't care what we do. What do you think about these two teams? Or at least, what is your thoughts on the Panthers?
I am frustrated for the Panthers because they still have a kind of subtly very talented roster. So
yes, it's so frustrating.
Annoying. Yeah, it's very frustrating because, and I felt that way when they went and got Sam Darnold and then they did the same thing. It's almost like you don't want to have the success. They're not even really trying to go out and get these guys that are true bridge quarterbacks. They're almost trying to put their faith entirely into a quarterback that is not going to be your guy. Well, you have all these weapons. Your defense, I like their defense.
It's good. Their defense is literally good.
Exactly. But that's why I think, I love the Carolina plus 11. I'm sorry, but the Buccaneers should not be getting 11 points against anyone. They have
on the road, especially.
They stink. I'm sorry. They do not look good. I mean, I know they're getting healthier, and it's how many times are we going to hear this is a Brady get right game? I'm tired of hearing that. I'm always the one to say, it does take Tampa usually a little bit to get hot, and then they get into mid-season form, and then you see their best football. Okay, well, we're almost at mid-season, and they don't look good.
Yeah.
So, and they are, again, getting healthier. I think that Carolina could stay in this game. Does Tampa win? Probably, but that's what's been happening with the Bucs games. You just saw what the Steelers were able to do. Really, all the Panthers have to do is stay in the game.
Yeah, I mean, 11 points at home, I will never steer anyone away from that, just based off whoever the team is. The Bucs, they scored one touchdown last week, I think. Couldn't get the 2-point conversion. Suck Up had a crazy game, and now they head up another road game, divisional opponent. Yeah. The Panthers are a mess, though. We saw what happened with Robbie Anderson last week. Is Baker playing this week? I don't think so. Sam Darnold just got activated. It's what are we doing in Carolina? It's so frustrating because I wouldn't say I live and die by this team, but I care a lot. And it's just now we're the joke of we're literally the worst record. I won't just keep losing. I want a quarterback. And
my heart hurts for Panthers and Bears fans. And I don't know that I'm 100% out of it yet. I'm weary to get excited about the Giants quite yet, but
you have Super Bowls. You have 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, it's true. I do have that. But still, it sucks to watch. You're just watching this team make these questionable decisions, and you're just don't even how did these people even get into the position where they are? At least Matt Rule is gone, though. I think that's a huge win for you guys.
Yeah, DFS-wise, I don't really like anyone in this game. It's a low total for a reason. The Panthers they don't move the ball, and they have a decent defense. They're going to rely on their defense to get in. If you think that Tom Brady game is coming, go for it, but I would not really steer you to anyone in this game. You ready to move on?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Team of America, Falcons, head to Cincinnati to host the Bengals, coming off of a win in New Orleans, a good game. 6-point favorites. I think that is maybe a little bit over-exaggerated because of the Falcons' success. I would probably lean Cincinnati, but what's your thoughts on this game?
I'm torn because Atlanta is 6-0 against the spread, blah, 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 blah. I just don't know what to do with Atlanta anymore.
Yeah.
They're at the point where if they go in and they beat Cincinnati, we're going to be talking about the fact that the Falcons are going to the playoffs, and it's not even particularly close, and they're already kind of in contention to win this division, which is insane considering how they play football. Their defense is a little bit underrated. I don't know how they're exactly doing it with the pieces they have. And they have this, ultimately what's going on is they just have this multifaceted running attack, and they're using Huntley, who no one was playing. He's probably, I'd love to see how much he is. Algier, Mariota, that's what they're doing. And the Bengals D didn't look, they were the worst part of their team last week. They need to play complementary football, or they're not going to get out of these games alive.
Yeah, I like Mariota at 5'5".
Yeah,
because he's basically a running back for them. He's no Cordero. He's getting more carries now. So I don't hate this game to stack either, because we know what the Bengals offense can do, and the Falcons defense isn't. They're on the better side, but they're not a defense that's going to shut down teams. And we get the Chase Burrow connection. We get any of those Bengals receivers or weapons. I'm still waiting for Mixon to have another elite game. I think he's had one or two. I am the biggest Joe Mixon guy, and my friends make fun of me for it. But
I love Joe Mixon. I love watching him run. I just think he's a great player.
I actually want to see where Joe Mixon rates of all the running backs price wise. He's down there. He's $7K flat.
Wow.
I think Joe Mixon is a decent play this week, especially for just financially. 7 flat, he's in the middle, and he's got as much upside as any of these guys. I still don't know why Christian McCaffrey is the number 1 ranked running back because he's just not doing it. But anyone else you like in that Cincinnati game?
This kind of sets up to be that Chase game, but I don't know if I trust it yet. Cincinnati they need to get it together this week. The offense finally showed up and was showing us the Cincinnati we know from last year. Again, defense did not look great. I don't know. What about how much is that Huntley on Atlanta?
4.9, I think. No.
Oh, it's not.
No, he's 4.9. Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't hate that either.
I don't hate it because the Saints were allowed to. I mean, the Bengals allowed the Saints to run for 228 yards last week.
16 touches last week.
Not bad.
I'll take that at 4.9. You can sign.
I wonder if Algier is that bad. I don't even know how many touches he had last week.
Let's look. Algier is just only $100 more, and he had 15. So that's a pretty that's a coin flip. That's a coin flip. I feel like you got to go with the lower price.
I think Mariota. I think I'm with you on that. I think Mariota and one of those running backs. I actually like that move a lot.
Yeah, I do. And do you think the Bengals break the streak if the Falcons cover, or do you think the Falcons keep it close?
I don't know. It's so funny.
I'm gonna go with the Bengals. I might bet them actually.
Do it. You should. I think right now that's just too many for me. Until the Bengals are playing on both sides of the ball better, I might stay clear of this a little bit. The total, I think, will go under, though.
All right, we'll move on to the Ravens, who are just under 2 minutes away from being undefeated, host the Browns, who looked, I guess, good against the Chargers and then was a joke against New England. This is an interesting game, NFC North in Baltimore. I think this is a massive Ravens show what we are game. Lamar is kind of getting some heat. What do you think? What do you like about this game?
Yeah, I mean, rightfully so with Lamar, and I love Lamar, have never been a Lamar hater. This isn't anything on it, but he is really he's messing up in the fourth quarter, and he's doing it often. He needs to take this team, put it on his back, and be Lamar because it's just crumbling. I mean, I love them first half always. That has been smashing this season, but forget ever betting on them in the second half because they just don't show up. They essentially just disappear and they crumble. You've seen them do it against all these teams. I think Cleveland is much worse than even their record shows, which isn't fantastic. I just don't know if the Ravens have a right, and this number's moved. I know it opened at 7, but I don't know if they have a right to be a favorite by this much. It's a good spot at home to get right, though. So I'll lean Ravens here.
I'm interested to see Amari Cooper because he only had I was gonna say he only had 4 receptions, but I thought he got a lot of targets. He got 12 targets last week. That has upside for sure. But against this Ravens defense, I don't know how much you want to do that, and especially a guy who what's his price? 6. I know that's a fair price because if the Ravens are gonna come out hot like they have been, Brissett's gonna be throwing. He's gonna go to his guy Amari Cooper. I think Amari Cooper is a fair play.
Yeah, this is another game that I love the over. I would take this number as high. I would take this number higher than 45.5. I think that's a beautiful number. I think that both these teams have proven that, they can. I mean, the Ravens, I guess, haven't been scoring as much, but they've also had some really high-scoring games. So have the Browns. You get a little bit of this, divisional matchup. The Ravens got to put it together because I am so upset. I have so many futures bets on the Ravens too. I'm so pissed off.
Yeah, I need the Ravens to get going. All right, we'll move on to the AFC South. The Colts won ugly last week. I think this is a very fair line. Head to the Titans, who are the team that just win games.
Yeah.
I don't really love anything this game. I would say don't play. I could see this game being so AFC South, 16-15, and we're wondering how is this the score? Like this is just, but that's how AFC South games are. I could totally see this game going way under and having like two safety, something stupid. Stay away from this game as my advice.
Yeah, and I think it's a trap. Like I bet in DFS and across the board with Jonathan Taylor likely coming back, people are going to try to smash him, thinking he's going to have like a great game. But the Titans only allow like just over 100 rushing yards a game. It's like 5th in the league. So I am going to steer clear of that. I think that the Titans coming off of rest, Matt Ryan looks bad. Like he looked fine last week. But that's because they weren't allowing any pressure to him, so he was able to have time, and he just can't really get much done. I guess Alec Pierce would maybe be the only one that I would think he might be like a cheaper option in this game, but again, like don't love anything at all about either of these teams.
Yeah, Alec Pierce is getting a bit too popular for me because, like, when you look at Alec Pierce on the field, you're like, that's not an NFL receiver, but he's getting it done. Yeah. He's getting the target. He's scoring, but I feel like people just like the public starting to pick up on Alec Pierce, and he's still priced fairly low. Like you can still play him, but I don't know. There's going to be a game where he just is regular Alec Pierce and he has one reception for 8 yards, and you're like, oh, I thought this guy was supposed to smash for me, and he just doesn't. I don't think like anything in this game. Both of these running backs are super high priced.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to garner some ownership because we know the name Taylor and Derrick Henry.
Right.
I think this is a big fade game for me, just completely.
Yeah, I think so too. Like this, I probably, if anything, I like the under in this game. If I had to pick one, would probably lean the Titans 2.5. But again, probably will not be on my card if we're being realistic.
All right, we'll move on to the Broncos finally play a non-primetime game. And this actually is the only bet I've made this week. I bet Broncos -1.5. Okay. I'm banking on Russell Wilson playing. Okay. If he doesn't, I'll figure out I'll get out of that somehow. I think it's time. We saw the Broncos last week in the first half look as competent as they have. And then they took a step back in the second half, did the normal Broncos. They step out of the prime time for 3 weeks in a row or something like that. They step out of the prime time. I think we all look at our TV at 6:30 in the afternoon and, the Broncos, they did something. And no one's watching, of course, but the Broncos did something against the Jets, a very young Jets team, back-to-back road trips, playing in altitude, young quarterback, young secondary, young receivers. I would not be surprised if the Jets absolutely let everyone down because all the money's on the Jets this week. And all the public's loving the Jets, the young squad. I think the Broncos come out and smash them.
Yeah, I'm so torn on how I feel this game. Here's my thing is and I'm going back to the Giants, Giants and Jets, like I think there's a layer of luck to the Jets where I think that the Giants' success is coming a little bit more from like coaching. If you look at who the Jets have played, the quarterbacks, they played a lot of backup court. A lot of it's come maybe from like a tiny bit of success that's gone in their favor. Denver's been abysmal. Like I never want to see Denver in primetime. Thank God we don't see it for like 2 months, I think, not until another game. But the Jets did sack Aaron like 4 times last week. They didn't allow that many yards. But again, this might just come down to like, can Russ he's just got to play. And he looked pretty good in the first quarter, actually. And then it falls apart. I wonder too, like, do you think Zach Wilson, there's anything to, someone asked me this today, like, he played in altitude in college. He went to BYU.
He did go to BYU.
I don't know. Yeah, I can't. I think that this game will probably end up being close. I would love for Jets fans to like cool off a little bit because they're a lot online right now. But I definitely like the under in this game. I don't think that this is going to be some like shootout between these two teams. No. But Denver's got to win this game. I mean, they're in a bad spot. They have no draft picks. They're stuck with this massive contract. They have a doofus as a coach. Like, I don't know what their hot plan is. Players are going to start demanding trades soon. Like,
Melvin Gordon's already on it. Melvin Gordon wants to be out of there.
So I would love for Russell to at least like play football that we can watch. I don't think people are tuning into this game. That's for sure.
No, that's what I'm saying. The lights are finally off him, and Russell does his thing, and you're like, of course he does it when no one's watching.
Probably
it happened with Kirk in London. So I'm like, okay, is this gonna happen?
Maybe.
And my thing is with the Broncos, why I'm so like optimistic on them every week. They get inside the 10-yard line and just score no points. Like they miss field goals too. They fumble. Can we just figure this out? They have so many possessions inside the 10. So
Just
I'm
get it together.
passionate about the Broncos this week. I think they absolutely smash. I mean, this is all an asterisk. Russ has to play. If Russ is
Yeah.
not playing, I do not advise betting the Broncos.
No, nothing. Definitely not. I think that, again, like Russell needs to do this, pull it together. I can't take it. And he's got to stop with the corny like quotes and stuff.
That's just him. He's been that way his whole career. All right, we'll move on to the battle of the one-win teams. The Raiders are probably the best one-win team ever, and they're 7-point favorites against the Texans, who are coming off of a bye. I don't really have a strong conviction here. Either way, I'd lean Raiders to cover this number, but you have any thoughts here?
So I actually feel pretty strongly about the Texans +7. I think it's too many points. They're like 3-1-1 against the spread. They played all 4 quarters. Both these teams are coming off of a bye. I think that the one thing, if the Raiders are able to really contain Dameon Pierce, which their run D has been pretty good, and we've seen that they're only allowing like 4 yards to their opponents. I don't know. I think that the Houston can stay in this game unless the Raiders should come out here and cover this. Like, it shouldn't be a question. They should have no problem doing this. But Texans have stayed in almost every single game and they cover, and they're like a bad team that they're still like a little feisty. I don't know what it is about them.
Yeah, no, I agree. This is good. I don't really have any like strong convictions fantasy-wise either. Like, we see Devontae Adams, he's one of the highest priced receivers every week. Major drop-off to the next guy, Josh Jacobs, 65. But I don't really have any conviction because we know the ball is going to Devontae. I mean, for a reason. He's very warranted. He can easily get stopped by I don't want to say he can easily get stopped, but I don't really have any strong leans here is what I'm getting at. Brandon Cooks as a chaser because they're going to be playing from behind. He's got the deep ball upside. Don't hate that at all. Or even Davis Mills at 5 flat. Because, the Raiders are usually like a historic over team. I can see this game getting up there in the total. So I don't mind any of that.
Jacobs, I maybe would consider leaning towards, but yeah, no one stands out to me in this game. Right, it sucks because Hunter Renfro's not doing anything.
No, he's ever since he had that fumble that lost him the game versus the Cardinals, he's kind of been in the shadows. All right, we'll move on to West Coast game. Chiefs head to the 49ers off of that great game versus the Bills. I like the 49ers this year. I like the Chiefs. I happily had Falcons money line last week against the 49ers. It was a horrible spot for them. I think the 49ers will come out a bit stronger than they did last week, but they're running into a juggernaut in the Chiefs, kind of a bad scheduling spot for them. What's your thoughts here?
I just can't. I still am not super sold on the 49ers. I know that I should be on them this game. They're at home. It's Shanahan. He's lost, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I think the Chiefs are just a better team. I think that coming off of that loss from Buffalo, Buffalo only held Kansas City to 20 points. That game was so close. It really just came down to Buffalo having the better defense. I think right now the Chiefs are the better team. So to me, it makes sense. A lot of the 49ers games have been going under, which is interesting. I kind of lean the Chiefs here, actually.
I do. Actually, now that I'm thinking, I'm going to play this first half over. I think both of these teams, off of that loss, off of the 49ers back-to-back NFC South games, and a loss, both these teams I feel like are going to come out dialed and hot, go over the total. What's going to be 24.5, 24, something like that. Yeah. I think I'm going to play that first half over. It's a reasonable number. Chiefs can do it themselves, literally, if they have one of those games early. I wouldn't be surprised if 49ers keep it close. Definitely going to lean Chiefs -2.5. This is such a rat line. Everyone's going to be on the Chiefs -2.5. I can see that going south. I'll take that first half over as my second play of the week. Yeah. And then you like any players in this game? I mean, what am I going to say? I don't like Travis Kelce and
Trevor Holmes. There's really no one to say that I don't really like. I think that both of these teams could – I don't really want Jimmy Garoppolo, that's for sure. But
I had 2 tutties last week, I think.
Yeah. I struggle with the Chiefs, wide receivers, because I feel like there's so much variability with who ends up getting the ball. And I've struggled with them, even playing them in my lineups. Because it's is it going to be Mecole Hart? Who is getting the ball? I don't even know.
Yeah, it's between these 3. Because it's similar to the Redskins guys I was saying. They all have similar upside. And I would say just play the cheapest one, play Hardman, because I wouldn't pay $1,000 more for Juju because like he doesn't have that much more. I think we've the Sky Moore thing has kind of been dying off. He's been lining up as a running back more than he's been split out. It's been weird. But yeah, I don't really care about those Chiefs receivers. If you want to play the cheapest ones is what I'd say.
No, yeah, I agree with that.
All right, we'll move on to Seahawks head to the Chargers. Chargers off the overtime win versus the Broncos. Chargers have a decent record. They've been squeaking by, which is good. Are they going to heat up and cause some real noise, or are they just going to be that team who's just hanging around?
Can I just say I am so shocked by Seattle still. Like, I could have swore that last week was going to be the week where we were going to start to see them regress, and it wasn't going to be this. And then their defense just started playing better, and it's like, what is going on? You guys are not supposed to be this good right now. And I think the Chargers, I mean, they have some problems over there. I think that they are not playing to their best ability. I think the defense has been a super big letdown. Chargers the Chargers should use this game, you'd think, but I think it's gonna be a harder matchup than expected. I kind of like Seattle +7 here, or I got it at +7. It's still, I don't give a shit about the point. 51 points though. I don't know. I think I would have to lean the over here.
Yeah, I agree.
Seattle's been scoring.
Seattle's been just in these games. I don't want to bet against like the Seahawks against the spread at least but there's going to be a time where they regress back to, and I thought it was going to be last week. So maybe I just stick with my guns, stick to like at a macro level. Okay, I thought the Cardinals thing was going to happen last week.
Yeah.
I bet the Cardinals again. I thought the Seahawks were going to regress.
Yes.
I bet the Chargers this week. I might do that. I might just.
I think I'm going to follow you in that.
Stick to my game plan. So bet by Cardinals, same spread at who the Cardinals play again? Okay, tomorrow night, betting the Cardinals. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then I'm betting against the Seahawks. That's happening.
It's got to happen. It's got to happen because I always say what people don't realize is like, unless he's not, but there's no way. I don't believe it. Like Geno Smith is a backup quarterback, and I don't think that's a bad thing. It's just like you're not meant to play 17 weeks of effective football. I just don't think he can play 17 weeks. And I hope I'm wrong. Like I'm happy for Geno, Giants legend. I can't do it. I just don't understand. Yeah. I can't see him playing to this level the rest of this season.
No, I've never seen you call Geno Smith a dad either. I don't think he is him.
He's just not. And I think it's okay for people to be backup quarterbacks. Just like Marcus Mariota. Like it's cool. You're a backup. Come in for 6 games and help a team stay afloat. But like that's a lot of football games to stay in there. And I don't know. We'll see. I'll be impressed. Poor Geno's been rotting on benches for all these years. If he does end up doing well.
All right, now we'll move on to the beautiful primetime slate we have. Steelers head to Miami. Teddy Bridgewater starting this game, I assume, or unless Tua's back.
It says Tua might be back. I think it looks like Tua is turning towards playing.
If Tua's back, I think – actually, I don't want to say that the Dolphins are going to throw them because we know what Mike Tomlin is as an underdog in his career. We know what the Steelers did last week to the damn Bucks. Interesting game. I'm not really excited to watch it. Steelers, Dolphins, primetime. It is what it is. But what is your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, it's better than Russ in primetime. I'm torn here because the Steelers just beat the Bucks. But I think that says more about the Bucks and like their inefficiencies than it says like about the Steelers being like a good football team. I think the Steelers will be able to get the ball down the field. I think Miami's secondary has been super inconsistent. I just don't, it's like one win. Am I going to overreact and take the Steelers +7? It's interesting though, because these games on Sunday nights have been not great here.
They've been bad.
Yeah. And it's like even 40, it's crazy that 45 points just sounds like so much here. If Tua is there and they can get the ball down the field, start passing, but then who knows? Like maybe Tua is still like a little, like he might be a little rough when he comes in.
Yeah, and then I was the biggest like Mr. Optimistic on the Dolphins this year. I was like, the Dolphins have the roster, the Dolphins can do it. The X factor is Tua him, and he's proved to be like the quarterback. And now, I mean, coming off of injury, he looked absolutely. He looked like near death when he got hurt. Like, and it was insane.
Literally.
So we don't know how he's going to come back. So I don't want to lay 7 in that spot. And if he comes out slow, that's well warranted. And I wouldn't fault him or the Dolphins for that. Like, he missed a few weeks.
Yeah.
Now he's coming back to play like, I guess I wouldn't even say a good defense. Another NFL team is what I'll say. So I would not be surprised if he comes out flat.
Oh, and I didn't even think of this. Is it not going to be probably Pickett? It's probably going to be Trubisky then, because is he in concussion? So that makes me not like that even more, because I think that for the Steelers to win, because outside of Warren, like, they haven't been able to get Najee Harris going. The O-line absolutely blows. I think they're going to have to throw the ball, and I just think that Pickett is way more effective than Trubisky is in throwing the ball. So that makes me lean towards the Dolphins. I guess it depends to me who is starting, but
yeah, let's look at these reports real quick. Okay, Trubisky, and doesn't say anything there. We'll look at this more. Let's see what Pickett says. He's protocol. He's cleared to partake in practice on today. So I guess we'll wait and see.
Interesting.
What the status is there. But if he's not going, I think that if Trubisky's playing, I kind of like the Steelers.
Yeah, I don't hate it, actually. I really don't. This game actually might end up being a little bit better than I think we're all saying.
It might be fun. All right, finally, we'll move on to an amazing Monday Night Football game. 2 firepower offenses. This should light up the scoreboard. Justin Fields and the Bears head to New England and play Bailey Zappi and the Patriots. What are we doing with this scheduling on Monday Night Football? Is this a joke? Are they like?
Is it like? Well, I think that Bill Belichick is gonna break some kind of winning coach record on Monday. I think they put him in a position to do that. Whatever it is, I think that must be probably the narrative they could think of. Or people actually thought that Chicago was going to be a decent football team, and
who?
I don't know. I have no idea who would have made this. Chicago is embarrassing. I feel bad for them because you get so excited. You have Justin Fields. That O-line is so bad. Nothing's going on. Like, nothing is happening. You're not going to be able to fix it. It's a freaking disaster.
No, it's a mess, and it's been a mess all season. Like, it just makes me so upset because I sit on my couch with my friends Monday Night Football, and we get to watch Russell Wilson do what he's doing. Now we get no Russell Wilson, and we get Bears Patriots. Like, they're 8-point favorites, which, like, I said to my friends, guess the spread. They were like, all right, 3.5. I'm like, all right, that seems semi-fair, Monday Night Football. I looked at 7. I'm like, this game is just going to be so bad. Like, I feel like
it's going to be brutal. And this seems like a slight overreaction to New England, but they did just embarrass the shit out of the Browns. Like, I mean, they only allowed.
I lost money on that.
Yeah, they only allowed the Browns 320 something, I think, shy of 330 yards, and they sacked Brissett like 4 times. If that happens, like, Justin Fields, like, at least Brissett has like some kind of vet away. Like, I don't even know what to call it. He's like somewhat, I'll call him a seasoned vet. But like, Justin Fields, if he starts getting pummeled, you see what he does. Like, he starts not even going through his reads. He can't even like see the open guys. It's ridiculous. It's so hard to watch. So if New England can come out and punch you in the face, which I think that their defense has been like impeccable at limiting offenses, especially as of late. So I think this could be a really long night for Justin Fields.
Yeah, and we'll have to see. This is going to be an interesting game. I definitely don't like either side, to be honest, because I can see the Patriots just taking care of them, but like, I don't want to put my money on that offense for sure. But I mean, people are gonna have to play showdown in this game.
Stevenson's nice. Yeah.
He was so chalky last week, and he smashed.
He probably will be.
Everyone's gonna be on him. Like, I think Harris is out. No.
Yeah. Is he?
He was inactive last week. He's questionable now. I feel like no one will play him if he's playing. I think that's a good leverage spot.
And I feel like everyone is going to be all over Zappi because it's like this fun narrative now, which I hate, because now it like totally ruins like when we were able to play him like his first start. I can't confidently, outside of David Montgomery or Khalil Herbert, like on the Bears, like I want nothing to do with them. I genuinely like, I can make an excuse for some of the guys on the Pats, but like I'm struggling with having to pick. Like, I guess if you want to do Mooney, whatever, but that's like all he has there.
Hasn't been doing good.
Can't even get him the ball.
No, I feel like if you want to play, I feel like you're gonna have to have one of those Justin Fields rushing awesome rushing games, like
Yeah.
like what you want from Lamar. It's just happened with Justin Fields. He's shown he can do that. So I don't know. This is going to be an ugly game, but
Ugly game.
Monday Night Football. That about wraps it up. That's, I think, 13, 14 games. Stephanie, thank you for joining me today. This will be releasing tomorrow night. And if you have any questions, you know where to find us both. And we will catch you guys soon. Thank you.
See you guys.